Hey folks, Jimmy here, aka Pal of the Dead. Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another issue of Mortal Realms magazine. As per usual with all these videos, if you like them, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel and drop a comment down below. It greatly helps the channel and I do get back to everybody as soon as I possibly can. Now, without further ado, we are on issue 52 and this week we get models that we've had before. We're getting 10 more units to Chainrasps Horde. It is the sprue from Soulless box. We've already had this in issue 1, however these are not blue, and so you know it's a case of just getting them all painted. I'm probably going to leave these for the time being until I can spray paint them white when the weather gets a bit better and it gets a bit warmer, because it'll make life so much easier, in all honesty. Along with them, of course, you will get your 10 of the 25mm round slotter bases, to make sure you don't lose those. Although if you do lose them, you can easily get them directly from eBay or Games Workshop as well, which is always pretty easy to get hold of and good fun. Right, into this week's issue itself, we're greeted by Lord Aquilas. So, Lord Aquilas are renowned commanders who ride at the head of the Vanguard chambers. Reforged from the souls of great scouts, rogues, or even bandits, they are the masters of unconventional tactics. They lead their armies in the devastating ambushes or lightning-fast assaults that leave their enemies reeling. So, Lord Aquilas are not your standard rank and file soldier or anything like that. For the Stormcast Cells, they will literally kind of scout ahead and use some bizarre tactics to try and gain the upper hand and make sure they vanquish the enemy and everything like that, which is always pretty cool. And there are, I'm sure, some great stories that can be made from these guys as well, which would be pretty cool, good stuff. They have a cool look as well, so they have some pretty cool intricate armour, as well as that fur cloak, which always looks really nice. And they do ride griff chargers when needed, so the eagle-headed mount that rides the winds etheric, carry the rider in vast distances, has his awesome talons as well. We've already got a griff charger from before as well, so which is always pretty cool. So really good stuff. Seeing a bit more about them as well. Not sure if we'll get a model of them. I don't think we do with this magazine, but you can get them in some of the box sets as well, which is always pretty cool. A bit more information about them as well. So they have they wage war from the shadows quite more often, and not even Sigmar knows where all the Vanguard chambers are actually deployed. This gives them kind of a bit more of a, so any kind of spies are very going to suffer a very tough time trying to get any details about these guys, which is always pretty cool. Very handy for the Vanguard chambers. On to the next page, the Wild Geists. Continuing going through all the kind of the essentially the documentation of how the ghosts are and everything like that. So Shaiish is a wild, untamed place. Outside the cities prowl countless horrors, with none more terrifying than the restless dead. Wild and furious, these feral wraiths do not serve Nagash directly, but their unending hunger for revenge on the living pleases the great necromancer. So, while a lot of the undead are actually bound to Nagash, many still roam the wilds untamed. The necroquake only made things worse, causing the dead to rise in countless numbers. These creatures do not fight for coin, or glory, or for the will of any great master, but simply because they are filled with fury and despair. So, with the kind of the restless dead, they are more kind of you wild geist. You do have spirit hosts, banshees and stuff like that as well, so they are a little bit more feral and a little bit more unruly and kind of not always in Nagash's rule as well, which is always pretty cool. They have these cooler little abilities, and it's nice to see a bit more information and to know that Nagash isn't fully in control of everything in Shaiish, which is pretty cool. So with there as well, it gives a bit of details between things like Banshees and the Cursed Champion. So legends claim that Banshees are the spirits of those betrayed in life. Whether this is true or not, Banshees bring terror to the living. So just like the kind of real kind of myth behind Banshees in real life, they are kind of meant to be betrayed and scorned when they were living, and they are now the spirits and they wail and everything like that as well, which is pretty cool. It's always nice to see that there are links to the kind of the real myths behind how these kind of guys work. On to the next page, you've got more information to do with realms, which is of course Shimano, the realm of metal, and it is the Spiral Crux Part 2, and it is carrying on with the giving details about the timeline of that realm as well. So in the latter years of the Age of Myth, a god beast came to the Spiral Crux. This creature caused the realm to twist and fracture, which had a vast impact on the nations of Dwarden and human alike. However, in seeking to slay it, the inhabitants of Shimano ultimately brought about their own doom. So, god beasts are these big, huge, powerful creatures that inhabit the mortal realms. You don't really get many stories about them, but they are pretty cool in their ideas, and the fact that they are destructive because they are essentially the beast of a god beast, essentially a primordial god, essentially, in a lot of ways, which is always pretty cool and pretty awesome. It mentions here as well great gaunt summoners. So while there are a little known about the Zechian sorcerers, each is a master plotter, schemer and sorcerer, and they work to spread mayhem and chaos across the realms. So the disciples of the Zech have some pretty interesting looking units, which are always pretty cool, like these gaunt summoners and stuff like that as well, which is always a bit different to see them. With your how to build section, pretty simple. You can, with one of them, build it in two ways. So depending on how you've painted the other one before, whether you use the one that's kind of like in them gallows, or if you want to use the candle carrier, the Dread Warden, you can use either if you wish to as well. It is entirely up to you how you want to do it. Look at how you built them before, whether you use that part or the Dread Warden part. Oh, and that's how I'm in all honesty, I'm going to do it. I will go for the opposite of what I did before. So there'll only be one Dread Warden in total between all 25 Chainrasps. Fairly easy to put together. They are very, very easily done. They should all be pretty much push fit as well, which is always pretty nice. So you don't necessarily need the glue unless you want to make sure that they are permanently stuck together at all times. Your how to paint section, do it exactly how you did before. So however you did it with the models from issue 1, if you can remember that far back, or if you made a note of it, of kind of like painting recipes or anything like that, you can always do it that way if you want them to match, or if you want them to look slightly different, paint them slightly different. You can get a lot of good looking units out of them, make them look pretty cool, and you can do a lot of other little bits as well. So if you want to, you don't have to use gold. You can get things like Rise of Rust and Typhus Corrosion, which will make it things like rust, kind of a rusty look to your models, which is always really, really nice. So you can get a lot of good looking units out of them guys as well. Going into the rules section, there's a bit more than normal with this. So the realm of battle, so depending on your realm or anything like that, can depend on some of the rules. So if you, and what kind of magic will help and stuff like that. So you can bring a variety of extra rules depending on which maps you're using and which kind of realm that you want your battle to be in, essentially, which is always pretty cool. So you can get some really, really good stuff out of that. So of course your main rules and realms would be, of course, Akshi for Realm of Fire, Shaiish for Realm of Death, Gairan for Realm of Life, Haish for Realm of Light, Gur for Realm of Beasts, Shaman for Realm of Metal, and Ulgu for Realm of Shadow. You don't really get any battles in Azir, the Realm of the Heavens, because it is the God King's domain and vastly incorporated with the Stormcast Eternals. So it's very, very unlikely you'll ever have a kind of a battle plan in there as well, because of how kind of linked it is to order and everything like that, and how it outweighs every other magic in that area. Shimano Realm of Metal, of course, has its own rules mainly. So Metamorphic Warding, so it is Realm Sphere of magic as well. So you can, by tapping into the ever-changing magical properties of Shimano, the caster compels the armour and hide of their allies to become as strong as Sigmarite. So that is one kind of magic can be kind of tapped into, so it makes it a very, very, very tough metal. Makes it very, very fun, and kind of can push a lot of things in the way that they use it. Same with Realm Command and everything like that as well. So Living Blades. In Shimano, each weapon seems to take on a life of its own. When guided by a steely-eyed warrior, these weapons strike at a foe with unerring accuracy. So they are weapons are slightly more accurate, well, bladed weapons are anyway, in Shimano. So if you're using that kind of realmscape to get your kind of games through, your strike should be a little bit more true and everything like that as well, which is always pretty cool. And of course your features, so whether you've got terrain features like Sigmarite Mausoleum, or your statues, Sigmar and everything like that, your Azerite Ruins, you can make them look really, really cool. And of course, they have their own rules, so you can use their war scrolls for all of that, and then everything in there as well. So how to use them rules for that realm, which is always pretty cool. Your battle plan is, of course, in Shimano, and it is called an Awakening. It is a little bit longer than normal as well. They don't normally give you 4 pages worth. So you've got Stormcast Cells and Nightgaunt, of course, and it is basically fighting around that area called the Ark in the Stygion. So pretty cool. If you are going to do that battle plan as well, you'll need your Knight of Shrouds, an Ethereal Steed, 2 Dreadblade Harrows, 5 Glaive Wraith Stalkers, 10 chain and 2 lots of 10 Chainrasps, so all 20 Chainrasps from your main base set. So not the ones from the good old ones of a Briar Queen mainly. And then of course you will also need for your Stormcast the Knight Incantor, Lord Arcanum on Griff Charger, 5 Secretors, a Celestar Ballista, and 5 Liberators as well. And then put your 3 objectives in the middle, 3 maps, and have some fun with that one. So pretty big battle, really, really good fun. A lot of units to be moving around as well, which will be yeah, keep you busy for a while, which will be definitely worth a blast. Then going into next week's issue 53, we're getting 2 paints, Mournfang Brown, which is going to be very, very handy for things like leather and kind of leather effects and browns and stuff like that if you want to do brown hair. And Troll Slayer Orange, also pretty handy some of the time as well. So, but orange is sometimes a bit of a tricky colour to use, not as tricky as yellow in all honesty, but it can be a bit of a pain in the ass. And then issue 4, we are getting more battlefield ruins, so which are the time-worn ruins, which, yeah, it's more terrain, you know. I'm not always thrilled by more terrain, but I'm definitely going to have a lot of it to paint during the summer when I can spray paint it all and just do it all in one go. But yeah, always good fun to have some more bits and pieces. Right, that is it from me for this week. I will see you very, very, very soon for some more of the videos though. So tomorrow we should have an update on Warhammer Quest. There will be White Dwarf this week, and on Saturday there will be a new update of what is to come for the Mortal Realms, which I'll be looking for, which, yeah, I've got some ideas of what it could be, and I'm looking forward to seeing if it what's going on in my head is actually going to come true. But yeah, so 3 more videos to come this week. Should be good fun. Right, I will catch you all very, very, very soon, and have a good one. Bye bye now.